Hey guys, welcome to Headland Appliance Service on YouTube. Today we are going to show you how to install a brand new updated sump on these KitchenAid dishwashers. It looks like an oval instead of the old circular version with the plastic housing tabs. This is the newer version with Torx screws. So if you have a dishwasher that's not washing dishes great, or if this has been diagnosed, this is to help. So after you take the racks out on the inside by flipping the clips over, you're greeted with the spray arm down here. Go ahead and pull up and twist that to the left to reveal this sump grate housing here. So we're going to go ahead and start by taking out these 4 Torx screws that are right on top of this sump housing here. One on each corner as the blue arrows are pointed to, and actually everything in this dishwasher is all connected by these Torx 10 sized screws. So go ahead and pick up one of these T10 bits at the store because that's what you need to do this repair. So once you're inside of the dishwasher here, go ahead and remove the 4 screws that are holding down the sump to the metal frame, and you'll see that the diverter valve comes free after you do the 2 inside Torx screws as well. So this plastic will pull up and over, and you can just go ahead and pull that right off by taking out those screws. So at this point you'll have, I think, 5 or 6 screws that you can just set aside with this plastic piece, so that way you don't lose them, and hold on to them, because obviously we're going to need them to put it back together. So once you've got the 3 hanging hoses there, and you can see that the whole sump is completely exposed, there's only 4 more screws that hold the sump to the actual dishwasher. There's one at the front, 2 on the sides, and 1 on the back behind that black hose. So once you go ahead and remove all those, you can see that the sump is now just hanging on the frame of the dishwasher. So at this point, go ahead and close the door and push the dishwasher onto its back, because we don't need to be inside of it anymore. And at this point now, you're going to want to go ahead and grab a towel, throw it underneath, because we are going to take this dishwasher drain clip off, and we're going to remove the drainage hose here. So by grabbing it and pulling it up out of this little drain escape from the sump, the water will start to flow out. If it hasn't been used in a few weeks, it might not have any water stored in, but in my experience I found that it has, typically after it's just been left alone by the customer for 3 or 4 days. So once you get that drain hose nice and pulled off, I usually use a cup here just to get all the gross water completely evacuated from the dishwasher. And we'll roll up a paper towel, kind of shove that in there so no excess moisture comes out. So at this point now, you can go ahead and take the connections off of all the parts. So these 2 blue wires going to the fuse, and then typically an orange and a blue wire going to the diverter valve at the bottom of the dishwasher. Also, you can take the clip off that goes to the motor and turn that turbidity sensor 1 clockwise counter turn, and it just pulls out with those yellow wires there. So once you've got all the wires completely off of the components, keep your towel down there, because you can just pull that sump right off of the dishwasher frame. Yes, that's really all that holds it, is just all those sump screws that used to be the turn dials and the little levers, but now it's just held in by the screws. So I sped up this part right here. You can just wiggle it as you work the wires. It just took a minute for me to be careful. You don't want to break any wires here. They're all small gauge. And then just go ahead and pull that completely out of the dishwasher. So typically go ahead and clean up all that water, any residue that happened. And I also forgot to show how to remove this fuse here. So go ahead and pull that and depress the tab with your flat blade. Typically, it will cause it to just shoot out a little bit, but you can grab it there and reinstall it onto the sump housing. So now when you're installing it, here in the bottom right corner, you'll notice that there's a white tube on the motor that has to sit into a rubber housing. Go ahead and put that back. When you're disassembling it, you'll see that. It's very straightforward. Now just plug all of your parts back in. So the white motor plug down there, the diverter valve, the fuse, the drain pump, and reinstall the turbidity sensor onto your new sump that you have positioned down there. Close the door and put it back onto its feet so that way we can begin to screw the screws back from the frame of the dishwasher onto the sump. It was hard for me to do just holding the camera in one hand and the other. So get those screws started, and on the left side first, then to the right. That way both sides are held up by the dishwasher. This is attaching it directly to the frame, putting that rubber gasket nice and tight onto the frame of the dishwasher. Make sure to wipe it down really good. I forgot to get that on camera just to make a good seal. So after you've attached those two screws, go ahead and re-screw in the one that is hidden behind these diverter hoses, also the one that is in the front, and you can click this plastic diverter valve back on top. Grab those screws and put one on each side of it, one on the right and one on the left, and this just attaches it to the sump again and moves that right on top of it. And after you've done that, you can put the filter grate right there again and reinstall those 4 screws from earlier, one on each corner of this little square housing. And after that, install the spray arm. I like to just make sure by dumping a couple cups of water in there before actually running it to make sure there's no leaks. If you missed a screw or if a component is loose, you can verify that before you install the dishwasher, because you don't want any leaks to harm the customer's flooring or the customer's cabinets, or if you're doing it yourself, to hurt your own stuff. So make sure after there's no leaks that you reinstall the dishwasher into the cabinet and you're all done. Thank you again for watching. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more repairs in the future.